Hello, it's Fiona here of Your Colour and Style, and I'm using February as my month for self-love. And one of the things that I like to do when I have time is put my makeup on. I say when I have time, depending on how much I do, it can take me between 5 and 20 minutes. So what I've done so far is I have cleansed my face, which is opening up the pores so that you're deep cleansing. And then I've toned it, which is supposed to shut the pores again. So that's opened and closed. And then I've moisturised, which gives you a nice base for, well, it's just to get on with the day. Actually, that should be the minimum that you do, really, is cleanse, tone and moisturise every day. Because actually, if we're indoors a lot, then at this time of year, our skin can dry out because of the central heating, or just we've got the windows closed more, I suppose, at this time of year. And if you're outside, then you're facing the elements a bit more. So the cleanse, tone and moisturise is the basic routine. And then after that, I now use a primer. Now, I used to love the Laura Mercier primer. This one here, I don't know if they still do it, Pure Canvas Primer, silicone free. So I've loved that. I've more or less used it all up. So when I went to get a new primer, I decided I would try the Look Fabulous Forever version, which I have to say is extremely silky, really soft and beautiful. Now, the reason for using a primer is to even out any fine lines and wrinkles. So this is me as I am naturally, and I'm going to put this on, but it really just gives you a lovely base to put your makeup on over the top. And it means, I suppose, that actually it creates another little barrier so that your foundation doesn't sink more into the skin for when you have to take it off. So I'm just going to do, it's a little pump action. I'm just going to do 2 little pumps. There we go, that's it. Dot it around the face and rub it all over, except for the eye area. I've thrown the packaging away and I'm not sure if it is meant to go over the eye area or not. There are probably lots of eye specific products, and there might be one that does that, which I have actually got an eye foundation, which I haven't brought to demonstrate with, which is also a Look Fabulous Forever product, which I enjoy using. But it doesn't actually say on here. I noticed on another product I've got from Look Fabulous Forever that the instructions are on the box. So if you throw the box away, it's fine if you use it every day and you remember what you're doing. But anyway, I can't tell you whether it's meant to be used on the eye area or not. I could probably look it up on their website or something. But anyway, this feels absolutely lovely. Yeah. All right, so that's my primer gone on. Now, the next thing I am going to do is put my foundation on. Now, historically, for speed, I have been using a Jane Iredale product, which for my colour skin tone is suntan. And I used to just use a brush it all over, and then I could just start off with the makeup. So it used to be a bit quicker. But these days, because my skin is a bit drier normally, I find that using a tinted moisturiser is better. I might come to use a bit of this over the top afterwards, so I'll see. But yes, so the tinted moisturiser. Now, my favourite was a Laura Mercier, and of course, I was coming to the end, as you can see. So I thought, oh, I'll go and get another one. Of course, go to the shop. Oh no, we don't do that exact one anymore. This one was called ICO Cameo. So she gave me IC Cameo as a sample pot, the new version, which I don't know if you can see, it is ever so slightly darker. And that actually makes a big difference to me. Or they gave me a pot of a paler one, again a lot paler, and that's called On Silk. So I tried them both at home, and to be honest, I thought I'm not really convinced either way, so I might have to go and look for another product. Anyway, I happened to be passing the Laura Mercier counter the other day with a bit of time, so she invited me to sit in the chair and let's have a look. I have done another video of the result of that, but basically the one I chose in the end was the On Silk, the paler version. So I decided to buy this new one. So this is On Silk. So I am now going to use my fingers. I use a mixture of fingers and brushes when it comes to moisturiser or you know, foundation. With this, it's not powder, with the liquid version, I find it rubs in better with my fingers, or at least maybe I'm quicker at it, I don't know. Anyway, so just rub it in like so. And although it is paler, and I did have my doubts to start with, I mean, when you look at it like that, you'll think it's not actually going to work. But actually, now I've rubbed it in, can you see that there's any difference to my natural skin tone? That's what I want my foundation to do. I want it to actually just give me an even coverage without altering the colour at all of what my skin tone naturally is. Now you'll notice I'm not rubbing it in over the eye area. I will just do it a bit under the eye. It does need to be rubbed in quite well, obviously. Can you see? It's just giving me a nice foundation base. It's taken away a bit of my normal, I can't call it rosacea, I don't think it is, but it just, I've got a bit more redness going on here normally. Right, so there we have it. That's my tinted moisturiser on, which does have an SPF factor to it. I think it's 15. Can't remember. Anyway, right, so that's two things done. Now I would be putting my blusher on, and my blusher is just one that comes from Superdrug or somewhere like that. It's two colours, so that sometimes I might fancy the paler one, sometimes I might fancy the darker one, and actually today what I might do is just mix them up. So they're a bit peachy, and obviously I'm wearing red. You can find them that are slightly more with a red tone in. Now, I am putting powder on a cream. Not really the best result. I should be doing a cream blusher. Don't really need a lot. Just putting it on my cheekbones there, just to give them a bit of definition. There we go. Now, for the eye area, so again, I've left my primer upstairs for the eye area. So one of the tips that I learned at the makeup counter when I was having my decision time about which tinted moisturiser to go for, she sold me a concealer and a highlighter joint function in one stick. Well, it's two different ends, obviously. So the tip she gave me was, instead of putting my foundation all over my eyelids, which I would have historically done, is to use the concealer. And she said the reason for that is that this is a different consistency to the liquid tinted moisturiser I've just put all over. And so she said this will, where the eyelid area is so thin, and when you blink a lot and your eyes might get warm, if you put that on, then the liquid is more likely to sort of go into the lines or crease and not look so good. Whereas if you put the concealer on all over the eyelid area, then actually it should give you the even complexion without the creasing. So here goes. So again, I will gently rub that in. I should have probably done one eye, and then you could have seen the difference before I put the concealer on the other eye. But anyway, it does give a nice base, I think. Gently dot it underneath the eye, and then use your ring finger to gently massage it in by dotting. There we go, it's a bit better. So I don't know if you can see, obviously I've done that one to do this one, but yeah, it seems to give a nice base before I put colour on. And again, because I'm using liquid rather than a powder, really I should be using more of a non-powder type shadow. But I think it'll work, what I'm trying to do. I suppose it depends on how long you want your makeup to last, you know. There we go. Right, I'll leave that out because I might need that later. Now, just wipe my hands. I did wash them obviously before I started, but using fingers you get a bit mucky really. Now, today I have decided I want to use my Charlotte Tilbury. I'm sorry I mix and match everything, but that's what I do. So I've got this lovely Charlotte Tilbury, and you can tell how much I love it and use it. Probably do another one of those actually. So I'm going to use this powder, and I'm going to put it all over. The eye socket. Can you see a difference? Maybe not. I'm running out of the actual powder on that one. It's the, call it Prime Preparer. So this is where I like to use a brush, because I do feel that it's a bit more accurate. So it's a bigger brush for the all over effect. Right, and then the next colour in is the Enhance, can't read it. Well, they're calling it Date Eye. So yeah, maybe if you're out on a date. So I'm going to use a different brush. That one. It looks quite pale in the actual palette, but as you can see, it is giving quite a bit of colour here. There we go. Right, now the reason why I've done it all over up to that sort of crease line is because nowadays, as you can see, I've got a bit of a hood thing going on, which is covering a bit of my actual eye socket. And so if I don't do it up to there, you can't actually see it very well. So I will, there we go, it's a bit better. Right, let's do the other eye, balance it up. Okay. So this is really a day look I'm creating, although it said date. Yeah, it's not too much of a strong, deep look. Now, I've got a unique pencil brush here, which is really lovely, soft one end and a bit more pointed the other. I don't know if you can see that. So I will be using that for my liner in a minute. But I just want to do a bit of a darker shade, just on the outer edge a bit. Bit of a V there. Yeah, so it's just giving a bit more colour. There we go. Right. Okay, so that's the use of the Charlotte Tilbury eye shadows. Now I've got this, it's a number 7 actually, Stay Perfect, sort of cream pencil. So this is where I'm going to use the other end now, because otherwise it would be too thick a line. If I use this one, it's quite a thick end. So I'm just going to see if I can get a better line, sort of a bit softer, using the brush. So I'm going from the outside in, and I'm not going to go all the way in, just trying to create a softer line. There we go, looks lovely there until I open my eye, and then you see I don't get such a winged effect these days, again because of the way that my eyes have been, you know, all my skin, everything as you age goes south. Never mind. So let's give this a go. There we go. It's not very strong, but I have got as I say, it's a soft day look I'm looking for. Right, now I did take a before picture, by the way, so hopefully when I've finished there'll be an after picture. Now, I mentioned this super duper pencil from Laura Mercier, where it's got a highlighter end to it. Now what you can do with a highlighter is just dab it in there where it's a little bit of a shadow or darker area, just on the inside. Can you see it's taken a bit of the darkness away there? Which will mean that my eyes stand out more rather than recede. So there you go. And the other place you can do it is at the top there, just a little bit, which I'm not going to do. Right, so what I didn't do with my concealer was put it on other sort of blemishes around my face. So I can do that now. Oh, seems a bit better. Okay, so I'm going to leave it in case I feel that I need some more under here in a minute. Right, now the next thing that I would do ordinarily, because I've got short lashes and they're quite fine, is I would curl them. Oh, and they're quite straight. But I have recently had a super duper treatment from my favourite beauty parlour, Lakewood Beauty, and in Chelmsford, and they have done me a lash lift and curl and a tint. So my eyelashes are a little bit more curly than they would normally be. It lasts sort of 10 to 12 weeks before I have to go and have it done again in order to maintain it. So I don't need to curl my lashes at the moment, which is lovely. It saves me a bit of time. So what I now do is, because my lashes are thin and fine and not much of them, I do use a lash primer. Now this one I've got here is sort of a bit brown, whereas I have had them in the past where they were quite white, and I did actually put my primer on once, let it dry whilst I went and did something else, and then I clean forgot to put my actual mascara on over the top, so I went out with sort of white lashes. So I have had a primer in the past, a primer that was actually brown, and that was brilliant, but of course went back for another one and couldn't find it. So here we are with this one, which is sort of semi-brown, but so if I did forget to put my actual mascara on over the top, it wouldn't be a disaster. So notice how I did the bottom lash first, and then I'm just brushing up and out all one way. I mean, I know some people, they do wiggle it like this to get some of the actual product onto their lashes. I do that sometimes. So right, let's try the other on the side. So I don't know how many coats you do with your mascara. As I say, I end up with one primer that I usually do once, and then I do 2 different types of mascara. So today I have brought down 3. I'm always trying mascaras to see which I like. They are usually brown if I can get a hold of them, which is better for me as an autumn, rather than black. It's a bit too stark on my face. But if I can't get brown as it is, then I will go for black brown or brown black. This one here, this Jane Iredale, is actually brown. I think they call it espresso. There you go. It looks quite dark, but it is brown. Okay, so I'm going to put that on the bottom lashes first. So notice I didn't put my liner underneath my eye. I gave up doing that mostly. Sometimes I do, and sometimes I'll put it on the inner lid, but I just find it looks a bit better just on the top at the moment for me, or at least it's all personal choice, isn't it, how you want to look. There we go, that's one side. Don't know if you can see the difference. It has made a difference. But you'll see why I need more than one coat. I think looking more closely at my eye, I want to blend that in a bit more. There we go. Which probably means I've now put my mascara underneath. I'll have to rectify that. Right, so I've also got a Lancome product that I really love. That's a brown again. So this will be my second coat. Different sort of wand. It's not quite as brushy as the other one. Yeah, lashes are starting to be a bit more prominent. Yes, you can see why it takes so long now. It's mostly the mascara that takes up the time for me. And then my third mascara that I do like is I've got a Dior one. Again, a brown. And that's more of one of those plastic ones rather than a brush one. Let's have a look. See if I can... improve things a little bit. So the reason why I can't wear false eyelashes, or have them stuck on with glue, is I became allergic to it, so I have to carry on doing this, I'm afraid. And the only thing, as I say, I can resort to now that helps is my lash lift and curl. So there we are, titchy bit more enhanced. Yeah, I have tried the magnetic ones. I didn't find them very successful for me. It's more a case of they were a bit too fiddly, I think, to work. But there you have it. Now, I have got some repair work required underneath where it's gone a bit dark because of my efforts with the powder, the eyeshadow. So I am going to try a little bit of my tinted moisturiser, see if I can edit that out. Otherwise I'll have to use my concealer. There we are, that's a bit better. Okay, let's try the other one. That's a little bit better. Okay, now the final thing is to do something with my eyebrows. Again, I haven't ventured like some people have to get a more permanent eyebrow. I've got this twin set. Actually, now this is one of the Tropic ones, and it's got, so one side is it's quite like my actual eyebrow colour, and the other side is a highlighter, which you can see I haven't really used a lot. So I'm just going to, as you can see, this is really where I have got a few eyebrow hairs here, but they aren't really showing. So I'm just going to sort of softly draw that in so that it gives my eye more definition. Can you see that's a bit better to that eye? So we'll just even it up. Doesn't need a lot. And hopefully it looks, there we go, a bit better. Right, so well, I say finally, but of course I haven't got a lipstick on. So I have got a Super Stay crayon from Maybelline, which is most like one of my reds. So I'm going to dot that on. As you can see, it's quite bright. And I don't tend to go for such bright lipsticks these days. So I will put something over the top to soften it a bit. Now, this is where I've got another Tropic product, and it's like just a plumping lip conditioner, they call it. So that's the colour of it. As you can see, it's perfect for an autumn. Now I will, as you can see also, that I use a brush for this rather than my fingers, because otherwise I'd get most of the product on my fingers and wash it off, whereas what I want to do is really just deliver it onto my lips. So I've got this retractable lip pencil, which is phenomenal. So it's got a little ball in the bottom there that pokes something inside there to raise the brush out of it. So what I can do, a little tip here, is to load the brush and just take the brush with you. If you're on a minimalist, you know, just taking your purse or something, and you could probably stick this brush in your purse. So loaded with the product and then retracted, you can retract it in there. So I think I probably should have blotted before I did that. So let's give it a blot. Yeah, okay. Let's try that again. Might stay on a bit longer then. So can you see the bottom lip now is a little bit softer than the top? It also gives it a little bit of shine, which personally I like. There we go. So I'm going to take a picture of my full face so you can do the comparison. And hopefully you've maybe learned something, or you know, want to try something yourself. Maybe any of the products. I'm not on commission for anything. I just you know, try different things so that I can discover what I like. And I suggest that's what you do, is just try different things until you find what you like. Okay, there you have it. Enjoy your day.